Welcome to a brand new edition of First and 10 Summer Series here on KLO Fly Plus. I'm your host, News 10 Sports Anchor Jonathan Bulott. That's News 10 Sports Anchor Karaski Melvin. Andrew DeBella has the night off. Ladies and gentlemen, today's conversation brings us to Opelousas, where we talk with the Northwest Raiders. Head coach Chris Edwards will join us entering, I believe, his 12th year with the program, along with senior wide receiver and defensive back Caden Jenkins. Last year, the Raiders going 7-5, suffering a second-round loss in the high school football playoffs to Iowa, but a really good season for them after starting off slow, losing all of their non-district games, going on to win all of their district games and taking District 4-3A with an undefeated slate.
It is interesting on that where, it's a rough start and then starting to find their footing. It's going to be interesting to talk to the coach about it of when you're able to get into that second gear to be able to kind of go to sweep through the areas in the program. Now we're talking about district play, of course, a change in the district in this upcoming season. That would be adding the Eunice Bobcats, a team that they fell to start the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. Whenever they did hit their stride, though, they were putting up points and not really giving up a lot. I mean, 4 games to close out the regular season where they would put up over 30 points or more while giving up 0 points on the night. And a 5th game would also come in the first round of the high school football playoffs, where they would take down South Terrebonne 45-0. Ski, let's go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say on that thought, to be able to get a shutout and with that magnitude, that's definitely something you want to hang your hat on, perhaps going into this upcoming season.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and dive into their 2026 schedule just a little bit. They'll open the season taking on the Notre Dame Pios at home on September 4th. We've talked with Louis Cook and company about how they're going to start off the year 3 straight road games, so that's going to be a really tall test for them at home to start the year. That's followed by some more games. This would be on the road at Kinder, at Opelousas, before starting district play, taking on the Crowley Gents on October 25th. And they'll conclude the year at the Ville Platte Bulldogs on November 6th. Ski, what do you make of the schedule?
All right, so we had talked with Coach Cook. He mentioned about how good a stiff challenge this Northwest team is. It'll be interesting taking that trip from St. Landry Parish all the way to Kinder for that second game. You have Opelousas kind of looking to find its footing in there. I think what I'm interested in is the Iota Bulldogs. That's a pretty tough matchup. Same for Church Point. Those three teams usually kind of go back and forth, kind of round robin with each other. Those are usually some really tough games fought between them.
I'm really interested to see who is going to contest Northwest this year in district play. As you just said, Church Point, they always come to play last season, only suffering 1 loss in district play. And wouldn't you know, it comes at the hands of the Northwest Raiders. Right behind them, Iota, 4-2 in district play. Ville Platte has been picking their things up, and they are 3-3 in the 2025 season. As we enter 2026, there are some really big guys to keep an eye on, including wide receiver, defensive back, LSU commit Marquez Davis. We just got to see him at the St. Thomas More 7-on-7s, and it's looking like he's in for a big season this year.
Absolutely, definitely has the time to impress. But the thing is, when you have that spotlight on you, that means the defenses are watching for you, the coaches are prepping for you. The question is then, who else steps up? Who else takes advantage of the fact that all eyes are on this one individual and kind of really can show out?
Absolutely. They also have Justin Chavis, their quarterback, coming back for his senior season. We got to see some live reps from him at that 7-on-7 as well. Ski, before we go ahead and go to break, what are you most looking forward to with today's conversation with the Raiders, and as well as head coach Chris Edwards and wide receiver defensive back Caden Jenkins?
I would think the question is, like, what was it as far as finding the stride as they started and kind of built that up, and definitely with those streak of shutouts, like what was kind of that mindset with that defense and kind of building upon that winning streak to be able to sweep district.
For me, I would say it would just come to the performance of the school over the past 5 years. They went from 5-5 in the 21-22 season all the way to 10-4 in 23-24. Went 9-3 the season before last year, and then last season, of course, going 7-5, getting to the second round of the playoffs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stick with us. Coming up after the break, the head coach for the Northwest Raiders, Chris Edwards, joins us here on First and 10 Summer Series. Welcome back to First and 10 Summer Series here on KLFY Plus. We're continuing our conversation with the Northwest Raiders, and joining us now is the head coach entering his 13th season with the program, Mr. Chris Edwards. First off, Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. So how's the summer been so far for your program? What are y'all looking to really work on, and how has the grind been?
It's been good. I've just been dealing with the heat, trying to keep the guys safe, keep them engaged during these hot times, and just working on small things that make us a better team in the fall. Just hoping all the things come together at the right time.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Ski.
Going into the fall, do you guys have like some kind of rallying message or mantra that you guys are kind of using to kind of motivate you through the season?
We just say together we will. That's been our thing since I've been there. We all stick together. There's no I in team, and one person not doing it, someone has to carry the load. So we've just been trying to say together we will all summer and keep showing up.
What have these past 12 years with Northwest meant to you personally, both on and off the field?
It's meant a lot. I'm from the community. First off, I went to Northwest High School. I didn't graduate from there, but I'm from there. My brothers graduated from there, so it means a lot. Me and my younger brother, he coaches at Haynesville High School. We always talked about coming back to Northwest and trying to revive the program. We always knew they had athletes there, but for some reason, it was always not taking off for some reason. But we wanted to come back. He was at Northwest before me. He left the year I got there, the summer, so I couldn't get him back from Haynesville after winning a couple of state championships. But, me and my coaching staff do a great job, and it means a lot. Like I said, it's a personal accomplishment for me to do that in my hometown.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Ski.
What was that moment where you noticed with this team, it's like, okay, this is that viable playoff championship level team that I know we have here?
My first year there, I can remember the team starting out, and we had a real tough schedule. And we went 4-6, and we got in the playoffs that year, didn't win it. But we had most of those guys coming back, and I'm like, if I could have this type of team every year, it's going to be easy. And I didn't know it was going to continue for 13 years. And that second year, man, we started rolling, got in the quarterfinals, went 3 years in a row, and we've been rolling ever since.
Let's talk about the journey that the 2025 season was for y'all. You start out the year going winless in non-district play, but then you go undefeated in district play, taking District 4-3A. Overall, what did you make of the season and the roller coaster ride that it was?
The season is exactly what we projected it to be. What I did for our Jamboree dinner last year, I told everyone they had a possibility of starting out 0-4, not because our team wasn't good, but we were starting 18 new guys, and I just knew these guys had to win one game. And once they won that first game, they was able to reel off 6 in a row. We returned all those guys. We have 25 seniors. So I'm very excited for this year's team.
Let's expound upon that, having that experience, that much experience coming back for this season.
It means exactly what it is, just experience. I've been in this position before, and last time this happened, the team went 5-5 because injuries came up and kind of derailed us a little bit. But this year's team, I think we're too deep at every position. Me and Caden talked about that on the way here. After Marquez Davis, our stud, everybody's, pretty much some really, really good football players, and he just happens to be great. That's why he is who he is. So I just can't wait to see how the season unfolds.
Of course, you mentioned Davis. A lot of eyes are on him this offseason, but there's a lot of other seniors that have stepped up their play year after year, getting to this point. Who are some guys, especially from your senior class, that you feel might be flying under the radar a little bit?
On defense, this guy here, Caden Jenkins, is one of them, and Fred Niemer, a linebacker, and also Marcus Sam. I'm sorry, I can't believe I forgot his name. 2 linebackers that was all district players last year. And on offense, we have another receiver named Michael Richard that's about 6'4", that's starting to get some looks. So we got a few guys.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Ski.
One of the things, rewinding a bit back to last season, you guys were able to put up a number of shutouts. Kind of talk a bit about the defense and kind of what was really working there for that.
The defense kind of reminded me of the defense the year we went to the semifinals. We started off kind of shaky at first, and it was just the guys learning their positions. Coach Scotty did a great job, and once these guys understood how everything fit, by week 3 and 4, we lost I want to say 3 games by a total of like 8 points. So we was close in the beginning, but we finally put it together. And once those guys put it together, they played lights out football. And I can't wait to see that group get together this year. And, they're under new leadership this year. We have a different defensive coordinator, but this guy been with us 6 years, so he knows exactly what we want to do.
There's been plenty of realignment for schools when it comes to districts this year. For the most part, y'all's is going to stay the same, but you're adding Eunice to the fold. What do you like about how the district shapes out this year in the addition of Eunice?
Eunice is always tough. Eunice is my big brother for right now. Eunice is our rival, and I think I've only beaten Eunice 2 times in my tenure at Northwest. They do a great job there. I just think that sometimes my kids kind of get a little bit too nervous for that game, and I'm just trying to make them realize that it's just another game. And, I think talent-wise, we're there every year, but they just seem to execute at crunch time. So just happy to have them back, better competition, and we get to see where we're at.
Now, Eunice was the first game of your schedule last year. This year, you welcome in Notre Dame. You also take a trip to Kinder, and then before going to take on Opelousas. Kind of talk about kind of that early schedule before you start getting into district competition.
We just wanted to see where we were early. Notre Dame has been a prominent team in the state for as long as I've been in high school. So Coach Cook does a great job there. So we want to go invite them over to Raiderland, and out those first 3 games, realistically, if we could come out 2-1, I think that'll bode well for us. In a perfect world, 3-0, but we just need to find a way to win 2 or 3 of those games.
After going on the run that y'all did to end last season and you fall short against Iowa in the playoffs, what was like the departing message that you had for your returning players that are going to be coming back this season?
Just keep chopping wood. Iowa was a great football team. I knew once we got them on film, I think that if we would have took care of one of those first 4 games, we wouldn't have seen Iowa until the 3rd or 4th round. And I think we would have been more prepared. But seeing them in the second round was just a tough matchup for us. But looking at those guys and seeing that I had most of them back was a big deal for us. So we just hope that we could put it together and stay healthy.
We talked about kind of both sides of the ball a little bit. What area, at least for the roster, that gives you the most confidence of if it was like if we're fielding today, I know this part of the ball or this group, I know that they'll get their job done and they'll really show out.
I would say the whole defense. Like I said, those guys came back last year. It was 8 new starters. They'll all be back this year. Fred and Marcus in the middle does a great job. So just the whole defense.
Let's talk a little bit about your signal caller. Justin Chavis back for his senior season. We just saw him a little bit in action during the STM 7-on-7s. Overall, what do you like out of him and what he can bring to the table this season?
I like Justin's maturity. Justin has really matured from his first year to this year. He's spent a lot of time with Jake DeLone, getting a lot of one-on-one quarterback time. He was there this morning, actually, getting some work. His brother played for me 2 years, so I think he's been picking his brother's brain over this last year. I don't think he did it as much his first year, thinking that he wanted to do it by himself, but he leaned on his older brother, and I can't wait for him. He's going to have a great season this year.
Krasky, quick question.
How about the importance of having kind of that family and those close bonds within the team and stuff like that, where you're able to lean on a brother who happened to be also a part of that Raider system?
Yes, I don't think that Justin understood how much I fuss, and I told his older brother just to let him know that listen to the message, not the tone. It's kind of the way I coach. I'm from an old school mentality, and sometimes I just do what I think just to do it. But Gus, Justin, he does a good job, and I think having an older brother to talk him through that definitely helps him with his mental.
Coach, finally, before we go ahead and go to break, talk about the young man that you decided to bring with you today to show off your program and the players that you have. Your senior wide receiver defensive back, Caden Jenkins. What has he meant to you both on and off the field, and what do you hope that he makes out of his senior season?
Well, first thing, he's an outstanding young man. Caden came to me 3 years ago as a track runner. We begged him to play football, and he's came out last year, and I just seen the growth in him. He grew about another 1.5 inches. He's a 3'7" kid. Yes, sir, no, sir. Track guy. Our track team finished state this year, finished second in state. He helped bring that trophy home, and just outstanding kid, man. His mom coaches at school. I think Caden will be a college football player. Don't know where. Don't think he's a Power 5 guy, but you have to be special to be one of those. But I think anywhere underneath that, he'll get a chance to play next year. Fantastic.
Any final words for the community and the fan base entering this season?
Just thanks for your support, and go Raiders.
Absolutely. After the break, ladies and gentlemen, senior wide receiver defensive back Caden Jenkins joins us here on First and 10 Summer Series. Welcome back to First and 10 Summer Series here on KLFY Plus. We're concluding our conversation with the Northwest Raiders, and joining us now is senior wide receiver defensive back Caden Jenkins. First off, Caden, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all as well. It's a pleasure. Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. So let's just talk about the offseason so far. What has the kind of training been like for your senior season, and what's kind of the attitude amongst you and the rest of the guys?
Off-season's going great. We all want it. All we doing is working day in and day out. Consistency beats talent, and that's our motto. That's what we go by.
So you have not really played organized football for a long period of your life. Coach just told us you got back into playing football last season. He begged you to get off the track a little bit more, get on the football field and practice. What's kind of that challenge been like for you, kind of adapting and finding your footing on the football field?
Just a new experience, honestly. A lot to learn in a short amount of time, making the best of what I have.
Absolutely. Gutsky.
I want to hear about the pitch that coach gave you and what kind of convinced you to go start to play football along with track.
It was really, honestly, something I've loved most of my life. I've always wanted to play football. However, growing up, it wasn't something I could honestly get into. Coming over here, great program, great team, great coaching staff. Just gave it a try.
And so far, now that you're kind of a year into that, what do you make of that decision and how it's kind of reflected onto your life?
I don't regret nothing. My opinion on here, being in Northwest, has made me a better man and a better football player, a better athlete as well. It all translates over.
Absolutely. So when we talk about this upcoming season, we have to talk a little bit about last year. Overall, it started off slow for y'all, but y'all picked it up in a big way at the end of the year, rattling off, I believe it was 7 or 8 straight wins leading into the playoffs. Overall, what did you make of the year and what y'all were able to do, and how do y'all hope to build on that this year?
All we did was learn from what we had, do all the best we can. Honestly, what took us out of the game, the mentality, we worked on that a lot. Get our confidence up, keep working, put the work in, and we go from there.
Absolutely. Gutsky.
On a personal note, what are some of the things that you're working on heading into this season?
I've been working on being a team leader and motivating my team, making sure all of our mental is up, not just one. It's bigger than just one person. It takes 11 people to play football on one side, 11 on the other side. You can't do it by yourself. Pick everybody up and know your job, know their job as well. Make sure everybody knows what they're doing, and we do amazing.
Has the reality kind of sunk in yet that this is your senior year and your last run with the Raiders, not just, on the football field, but in the classroom with your classmates and your teachers and stuff like that? Has anything like that kind of sunk in for you lately?
Yes, sir, it has. A little disappointed that it's almost time to go, but make the most of it, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm enjoying it while I have it.
And every senior, of course, they want to go out leaving a big mark and going out with a bang, per se. What do you feel like will be the avenue for you to do that with this Northwest team?
We all got each other's backs. We are shooting for as high as we can go.
Absolutely. Gutsky.
Once you've graduated from Northwest, what would be the one thing you would want perhaps future Raiders to know about you and your impact on the program?
I would like them to know me as a team leader, team motivator, as well as somebody who's going to set an example by getting the job done themselves.
When it comes to the defense last year, y'all really picked up your play during district play, starting off going with 2 straight shutout wins over Pine Prairie and Ville Platte. Where do y'all feel like y'all really click most on that defensive side of the ball, and how do you feel like it could get better this season?
We clicked the most with chemistry and communication. And also, like Coach said as well, Coach Scotty was a great coach, very intelligent. He figured a lot out for us. He made a lot of that work for us as well.
Absolutely. Gutsky.
What kind of went into building that chemistry, you feel, in your opinion, to where you guys became more of a kind of well-oiled machine? Like, what were some of the things that kind of went into building that chemistry?
Time and consistency, day in, day out. Days in the summer where nobody don't want to show up, late nights, just time together, time to bond, time to work together, and eventually we put it all on the field.
How would you say that your training for football differentiates or maybe is similar from your training for track? You've been running track since 7th grade. You do the 4x8, the 4x4, and the hurdles. But I feel like it's 2 completely different avenues when it comes to sports and preparation.
They absolutely are. They take 2 different things. On the track side, a lot of it is mental as well. But on football, I really work a lot. It's a lot of conditioning. In my opinion, it's just a little bit harder.
All right.
You said earlier that Northwest helped make you a better man. Kind of explain kind of what that mean about how the Northwest has kind of shaped that to make you a better man.
Our coaches over here are amazing. I mean, make sure you hold up to what you say, your word, discipline, commitment, everything.
Let's talk a little bit about some of your senior teammates this season, because you got a ton of guys that can make big plays across the roster. Overall, when it comes to these seniors, when it comes to guys like Justin Chavis or Marquez Davis, what guys do you really think are going to, put this team over the top and really get y'all closer, one step closer, I would mean, to the Dome?
To tell the truth, I don't believe it's just a few. I believe it's all of us as a team collectively. It's a lot more than just one or two guys that makes this whole thing work. Like Coach said as well, we could really put two in any position. We have depth, and we have guys that are willing to work. Everybody wants it. You can't just shut us down, shutting down one person. You have to play all of us. If this one person don't show up, the rest of us going to show up. And that's what makes us a team.
Love that. It's a pack of dog mentality. Go ahead, Ski.
Absolutely. And as becoming more the vocal leaders, are you reaching out to some of the younger ones? That are any particular younger guys that you're trying to mentor to kind of get them into that mentality and kind of train them on the Northwest standard?
Yes, sir. I always try to pull somebody to the side, have a little talk with them, make sure their head is straight, make sure they know what they're doing, tell them to keep working, keep putting in the effort.
Caden, before we go ahead and wrap this thing up, I want you to just go ahead and take a look at the man over there on that couch right there. Head coach Chris Edwards, what has he meant to you over the past 2 years, 3 years that you've been at Northwest, and especially now that you're with the football program?
That guy's been great, man. It's been a real pleasure to be under him as an athlete. That guy's really helped me develop a lot as well as an athlete as a man as well.
Absolutely. Any final words for the community and the school heading into week 1, taking on the Notre Dame Pios?
Go Raiders. Ready to make it count.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great season with Northwest, and you can expect Caden Jenkins, to pick off plenty of passes this year. Caden, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all as well.